Calvin, that first half when that touchdown pass kind of slipped through your hands a little bit, did you kind of say anything to yourself at halftime to kind of shake it off? And how good did it feel to get that 65-yard touchdown?
Um, well, really, it was just the next play. A next play mentality. That's what we just always preach: the next play mentality. And Coach Simon and the rest of everybody else, Brady and the rest of the receivers was just like, I mean, we knew that more plays were coming, so we had to remove our focus from. I had to remove my focus from that to just move on to the second half because we knew more opportunities were going to present themselves, and we just had to be ready to execute and make it when it came.
And then how did it feel when that 65-yarder came? And then we all know what happens when you get daylight like that.
It was great. I mean, I feel like it gave our team some momentum, and it was just really great to get in the open field and just run. So it was great.
Jacob?
Hey, Calvin, what's it like to not only end the day with a great, stat sheet in your name, and what's it like to watch Memphis win again, and considering what you did for the team?
It's great. I mean, a couple of the guys, obviously, because they're my brothers, they were happy for me and telling me on the side. They were like, "Do you know what you got right now?" I was like, I mean, yeah, I saw it, but I mean, it would have all been for. I wouldn't have cared a little bit if we didn't get the victory, and so it was just great getting a team victory because that's what that was. Both sides were needed, all three phases. So it was just great getting a hard fought team win. And the stats are always going to come when you play with great players and great teammates. So that's not anything I'm worried about. It was just great to get a hard fought team win against a good Temple team.
Terry?
Hey Kevin, last week you might have shocked a lot of people. People might not know who you were, but coming in this game, you didn't shock nobody. And you still exceeded. Was this a more physical game for you? And what's the difference between the last game versus this time getting your yards?
I feel like Temple overall is a physical team. Um, but this week I knew I had to lock in more mentally because the mental aspect of the game, I feel like is the most important. So coming to this week, I know that they were probably gonna give me a different looks or different coverages. So really, all I knew is, and Coach Simon was preaching too, just he wasn't worried about nothing that like catching or running. He's never worried about that because we put in the work throughout the week to make sure that's going to get done. It's just all about mental, like seeing your coverages, seeing your triangle, seeing the DB stem, all that stuff. So once once I got it, once I got a grasp of that today, it was really I didn't really have any. I knew we were gonna be okay.
Evan?
Calvin, knowing how physical Temple was and how tough this secondary was, how does this now prepare you guys for what's come this week, obviously, with an even tougher Cincinnati secondary?
I feel like it was a great test. I mean, um, I feel like against UCF, that was a very, you could say that was a very emotional one. So because it was, news and all of that stuff. So it was like, are they gonna come back and repeat it? Are they consistent? Is that really who they are? And um, I feel like it was a great test for Cincinnati, but the biggest test for Cincinnati, I feel like, is how we come to practice this week. Because I know if we prepare how how we need to prepare, the coaches are going to come up with a great game plan. And once again, it's just going to be up to us to execute. I feel like once we're clicking and once we get to rolling, no one can stop us. So we just have to continue to execute and just focus on next week and getting better. Because as you can see, it's a lot more work to do. But we're just glad we came out of this with a victory.
Does it help a little bit facing them twice so you kind of know what to expect with their secondary?
I would say it does to a certain degree, but um, each game is a game of its own. So we'll see something different than we did last year. So I think as long as we approach it knowing that, you know, they're gonna give us their best and we're gonna give them our best, it's just gonna be a battle. So we're coming in knowing it's gonna be a battle and we're just ready to fight.
Clayton?
Calvin, just obviously a major part of this game was when in 7 plays. Is that just an example of what this team can be when you guys are really clicking on all 3 phases like that?
Yes, sir. I feel like it definitely is. When the defense makes those type of plays, I mean, you can just watching the defense, like we got some real dogs on defense, some playmakers. So we have no choice but to, when they make a play to not make it be for naught. So because we said before the game that they were like, we'll take care of y'all take care of us, and we put them in some bad positions by not owning the ball like we should. But at the end of the day, you see what they did. They just consistently makes plays, and so we have to do a better job of when they do make the plays of executing more and more. But I mean, that was just as I said, that was just a great team win, and so it's very encouraging.
Terry, last question.
Hey, Kevin, this could have easily been a trap game because, you played UCF last week and everybody knows what's at stake when you play Cincinnati this week. How mentally prepared did Coach get y'all ready during the week to take this team for granted?
I feel like it was he did a great job because he didn't approach this game no different than any other game. He approached this game just like he did A-State because we give each team their respect because each team we face is going to give us their best. So this week, I mean, we didn't do anything different or just say anything different, but we knew that this one, from last year that even though we didn't just necessarily say it, everyone in the back of their mind knew. So I feel like we came out with the right mindset. We had to do a better job of owning the ball, but Coach had us prepared great, and so he'll have us prepared great for next week.
Thanks, Calvin.
No problem. Thank y'all.